It's great to be here this morning. I must say, I must thank God for, again, waking up this morning. I was listening to you all coming down in the vehicle, and, you know, some people may not have gotten up this morning.
Yeah.
So I thank God for that.
Yes.
You know, COVID or no COVID, you know, I thank God for that.
Thank you very much, man. So what's going on? I could call you Esmond, because we are friends.
Yes, we are friends.
We are real good friends.
Yeah, what Sharon said actually is true. I would have started off my semi-political career in St. Joseph when Minister MP Kennedy Swartzing, we went to St. Augustine Senior Comprehensive together actually. And you know, he said he remembered how I used to marshal the troops as the house captain in St. Augustine and so on. And he said, look, he wanted nobody else to run his constituency office in St. Joseph.
And earlier he did that, eh?
You know what I mean? And I ran the office. That's where I met Sharon and Terence Yalsing and those guys.
We used to fall out something, you know. But a real fighter, don't give up. And always listen.
Sure.
True fighter.
That's key. That's key.
And I'm happy to have you today.
It's always a pleasure to be here.
You bring back some memories.
Yeah. Those days in St. Joseph, opposite Wassa. Yeah.
Some long nights.
Yes. But I transferred to Tunapuna now. Back home.
So tell Trinidad and Tobago, who is Esmond Forde?
All right. Who's Esmond Forde, boy? Sometimes that could be a question you could answer in so many forms, but I'll start with saying that I believe in God. Yes. Right? I must start off on that note. I have one wife, two girls, two beautiful daughters. Right? They support me wholeheartedly in everything that I do. I'm married now for the last 31 years. Wow.
Ooh,
yeah, boy, 31
nice.
years. Yeah, 31 years. Right? Born and bred in Tunapuna, Fairley Street to be exact. And that's important. Right? Being born and bred, you know, in the constituency where you reside. That's half your work, you know, is taken care of. Right?
Because you're right there.
Because you're right there. You know, when people call, you know, you can identify the street, the particulars, and so on. I would have been educated at Tunapuna EC School, right, which again is a top school in the East-West Corridor. And then I went to the prestigious Hillview College on El Dorado Road. And then I would have did my advanced levels at St. Augustine Senior Comprehensive. And then I went on part-time to do evening classes at the University of the West Indies and so on. Was a local government councillor, 2010 to 2015, you know. I didn't say it, but the people have said it, you know, highly rated and so on.
No, you will.
And
you will. I'm giving kudos where kudos should be.
Yeah, I was thankful for that. And I think to Sharon, what happened is that is as a result of the work I did as a councillor, which I think caused the People's National Movement under Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley to elevate me to be the candidate for Tunapuna in 2015.
And I must agree with that.
Yeah, you know, and I served for 5 years as a councillor, vice chairman of the Tunapuna Piaco Regional Corporation from 2013 to 2015, and then member of parliament, and of course, being given the position of deputy speaker of the house to work under the speaker, Bridget Anissa George, highly respectful, you know, lady. How is that? Again, you know, sometimes, you know, you're sitting over 41 individuals, some older than you, more experienced than you, even more educated than you, and you have to ensure that the decorum of the house is maintained. It's a tough job.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge. But, you know what I mean, I try my best to be as neutral as possible, you know, try my best to balance, because it's left side, right side, government, opposition, and you need now to be, if you want to say the referee or the judge, in order to ensure that, listen, hey, tone down, switch off your phone.
What you said to me, Kennedy said you were the what?
The house captain back at school.
So
and, you know, he saw how I used to marshal the troops.
So you're marshalling the troops?
Well, marshalling the troops, you know what I mean? So, you know, so it's, sometimes you could be, you know, between a rock and a hard place, but if I'm the deputy speaker, I have to perform as the deputy speaker.
Yes.
Because the government is watching, the opposition is watching, and most of all, you media people are also watching. So I need to do my job, you know, in a fair manner.
And a professional way.
Professional manner, yeah. But it was a good experience. You know, something Dr. Rowley saw in me that, you know, I don't know if it's before, because I remember at Hillview College, my principal always used to mention to me, you know, let your voice work for you. He always believed that I should have been a lawyer. You know, picture me summing up in front of a judge with his voice. You know, he believed, well, look, you know.
You see, I have to come down, eh? You're serious, you know. Your tone is, you're serious.
Yeah. And it's natural. And it's natural. Yeah.
And it's natural. You know?
It's natural.
But I'm happy that you're here this morning. But let me ask you, so when the elections are won, would you go back? Would you like going back?
Well, you see,
You look good, you know.
It's not the idea of going back.
It's where you're
it's up to the prerogative of
No,
the
but
Honourable Prime Minister.
if you ask, would you take the option?
Well, again, they say you must not refuse, right? And you know what I mean. So it's a tough situation because some people believe that you should be a minister. You could only get things done if you're a minister, but that's not true. As the member of parliament, I have been able to acquire so many things for my constituency in the role as a deputy speaker. Because people believe that if you don't have a ministry, you cannot get what you need for your constituency, and it's a fallacy. It's not really a true thing. Because I have done a lot for Tunapuna. But to answer you directly, whatever the Prime Minister decide, I will accept accordingly with God's grace.
You're a true politician. Well said.
No, man, so you're able to tell him, boss, no, I don't want that. I want Ministry of Sports. I want.
And if I don't get that, I don't want that.
I don't want to perform. No. My main aim, though, Sharon, is to ensure that the Tunapuna seat is won, right? To ensure that Tunapuna seat is won in 2020, to ensure that the PNM remains in government. That's key. That's key.
Well, Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Esmond Forde is vying for the elections carded for the 10th of August. And I would now ask Mr. Forde to share with us some of the things that he would have done in his constituency and what you think need to be more, if you need be that more things can be done and what are the things you want to do and so on. So I'm giving you the opportunity to talk to your base and you talk to your people in Trinidad and Tobago and the world this morning. Yes. And before you do that, let me say good morning to Lauren, good morning to Mr. Chance, good morning to your entire team listening, because I know they're locked on and listening.
And surprisingly, the whole of Tunapuna, and not only Tunapuna but surrounding areas and the whole of Trinidad and Tobago, because again, in Tunapuna, I have crossed the divide. I've been able to bring all races, all religions, everyone together. That's one of my main focus that I focus on in Tunapuna,
So tell us.
Right. So basically, 2015 to 2020, it was a tough 5 years. I know it's something that a lot of people say as politicians, but as Esmond Forde, I'm saying this as Esmond Forde this morning, that it was really a tough 5 year, right? Dr. Rowley and his finance team were able to stabilize the economy. Right, we were able to stay away from the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. That's key.
Most important.
So for the 5 years we were managing, right? Yes, sometimes we were downgraded, but then we were upgraded. We were given satisfactory, fair, good ratings along the line. Again, when the finance team will talk about the intricacies of those things, but from sitting on the outside, we were able to stabilize and we were able to work. In Tunapuna, yes, things may not have started off on a fast pace, but as we moved into 2017, 2018, we were able to materialize the usual things, the road paving. I always believe things like road paving, box drains, retaining walls are things that will be done whether you use an MP or not.
Yes.
Because the Ministry of Works, Ministry of Local Government, the regional corporation, right, which is Tunapuna, Piako, where I'm from, they are the ones really that have the technical team to see about those things. But again, as an MP, as a councillor, you fit in to see, you prioritize and you get those roads. So we would have paved roads like Orange Grove Road. We would have paved roads like the Eastern Main Road between the Coral River Bridge down to Harinat Street, right, which was probably just about 1,000 meters of roadway, one of the worst areas in Tunapuna. And there would have been some small streets within the St. John area, the Santa Margarita area. We would have done some work in Chacarigua, Tavanot Street, some box drains, right? We would have done some work on Fairley Street. And what transpired in between all of that, right, we came down to 2020, because time really flies, this 5 year creep up on us. And then COVID stepped in, and I think that created a little slowness in the economy in terms of some of the things what would have been done. In Tunapuna, self-help commission plays a big role, because we have a lot of individuals that needed house repairs, property repairs, retaining walls. So I would say probably just over about 200 persons would have participated along those lines. CPEP companies were implemented by the CPEP company, so we were able to create some employment. Right, the URP employment is still ongoing. Right, in order for that category of workers, we got 1 or 2 people into MTS. Right. One of the main things that I would have liked, to get done within this period would have been that link road, a bypass road that we want to carry from St. Michael Road straight across Tacarigua into Tunapuna. right? This would minimize, a lot of traffic congestion within that Chacarigua El Dorado Road area.
Yeah.
Right? Because again, within Tunapuna constituency, there are roughly 52 schools,
yes.
38 churches.
Yeah.
Right?
I know.
52 schools, 38 churches. So the congestion is really heavy. But when I spoke with the minister, they were not able to acquire all the lands in order to make this virgin road to the back of Tacarigua, a bridge over the Kora River, and into Tunapuna. So again, definitely that's on the drawing board for 2020-2025, because you spoke to me. They have already put out the work and the drawings and everything. It's just to acquire the land and in order to get the financing in order to work on that.
So that is an ongoing project. Right.
One important thing that we would like to do is the Girl Guides Hut. Right, we have a Girl Guides Hut which was leased to the Girl Guides Association. Right, we were able to put the necessary plans and so on in place to build back the Girl Guides Hut on Tuesday Lane in Tunapuna. Again, COVID slowed that up. That was supposed to happen earlier this year, right? But I spoke with them last week, and work's supposed to start sometime within the next couple of weeks.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to ask you about your Facebook page, because every time I turn Esmond Forde come up on my Facebook page, he digging a hole here, he planting this here, he buys somebody home, somebody dead, are going to a funeral, something. So I mean, I can say that you're visible. Well, I am seeing things that you're doing, But we have to go to the break in a while.
Sure.
And when we come back at 7:29 a.m., you'll tell us a little more of things that you want to see happen in the constituency
of Tunapuna.
And then we'll open the lines and take some calls. So I hope Tunapuna people locked on listening, because we would like you to call in and be part of the whole conversation this morning. But it's really an honor for me to have Esmond Forde sitting here. I have to give him a hug and a kiss before he leave. We are COVID, I know you, but oh gosh, boy.
We need to ensure we keep the Ministry of Health guidelines.
All right, but
Dr. Parishram mustn't come looking for me. We need to set examples.
That's
integrity.
That's my real
PNM.
That's my real friend.
You'll get as close as possible.
That's the show. You have the love there. So, guys, we're going to the break. We'll be back. Don't shift your dial.
Sleeping time.
Let's talk on the streets.
The official station that defends the nation.
All right, so Trinidad and Tobago, we are back. Yes, we are here. And of course, I'm speaking to the Member of Parliament for Tunapuna. And the next Member of Parliament for Tunapuna, Mr. Esmond Forde, Deputy Speaker of the House of Parliament in Trinidad and Tobago.
That was until we dissolved last week.
Well,
I'm the candidate now.
And the candidate. So, guys, we're having our discussions, and Mr. Forde would have told you a lot of things, and I think he has some more to tell you, because how should I put it? We're minding his business today, so we want to know what's going on in Tunapuna. Yeah, we're minding his business.
Right. I just want to take this opportunity, to thank my Member of Parliament staff that worked from 2015 to 2020. We have a staff of 12 individuals, because I have two offices, the main office in El Dorado and a sub-office in the Maracas area.
Oh, nice.
Right, so we worked as a team. We really pull things together to ensure, because we have a very systematic approach.
Are you still in the...
We are the corner of Cora Road.
No, are you still in the business of the emails?
Yes, emails,
Boy.
WhatsApp. We track every individual.
Yes.
Yeah.
I could go back into my emails and show you.
Yeah.
Here now, if you miss a beat and you miss a breath, check it in the email.
Yes. We have a very good system. We have a callback system. Some people are amazed to know that the MP office is calling them and so on.
Yeah.
Right? We track it. And this week, we are just over 12,000 persons that would have passed through the office for the 5 years.
Excellent.
We actually track it. Each person has a file. We have a notebook with everyone named that visit the office. And so that once you come on a second occasion, we're able to pull your file in order to see the continuity and so on.
And that was...
Yeah, and that's it. That was part of... Yes, that's what we set up under Kennedy Swartzing. Because remember, Kennedy Swartzing plan was to have a model constituency and then expose it to the other 41.
And the data. Remember we had that
Public administration.
data. Yeah, remember we had that data system.
Database,
I tried to go back, but it maybe was this. But we had that data to catch the information.
Information.
And
who are masons, who are plumbers.
That's right.
Who are policemen, doctors, lawyers.
Everything.
We have that at our, we have that system at our office.
See, I tell all you.
You know.
The training for St. Joseph.
We very close. We next door. You know.
But no.
Also, I would like to thank my campaign team and my advisory team, because again, in Tunapuna, it's about we.
Yeah.
Right? I am the MP and I could say, okay, I could run everything, but I have an advisory team that I work very close with. And then my campaign team now that we're in the election season, I have an excellent team. People like Eddie Hart.
I hear about...
you know what I mean? Mr. Chance, Bukaredi, Lauren, you know, Mr. Castro. You know, we have a very powerful team.
Yeah.
But I must say that as we operate as a team, we are able to ensure that, you know, we get more done.
Yeah.
You know, I cannot be everywhere as the case may be. You know, I work very closely with the councillors in the constituency.
I see
at
that.
the Tunapuna Piaku Regional Corporation. And so on the campaign trail now, we would have started now with 1 month. You know, we have hit the road. And my job is simply, as my campaign manager always say, go to everybody's home. Some people say that is a UNC house. What is a UNC house?
A house is a house.
You know, what is a PNM house? A house is a house. Because my oath is for everybody within the constituency. So I knock on your door, the person call you out, you come to the gate, you come to your gallery, you come outside, we talk, some people wave, some people say come in, and we have a conversation. In Tunapuna, it's about relationships. That's my strength, right? So I'm able to forge a relationship with the churches, with the mosque, with the Mandirs, the Presbyterian Church, the Hindus, you know what I mean, the full gospel, you know what I mean. I participate in everything. We come together and they invite me to most of their functions. Right? So that is the social part of Esmond Forde, which is very critical. You talk about the wakes and the, and the birthday parties and the christenings and the 90-year-old birthday parties. You have to ensure that you stay with them. The children, with regards to the trend party. As I'm on trend, common entrance is coming up.
Yes.
And I already have the stationary kits for over 600 students. Because remember, SCA was supposed to be in, I think, end of March, early April. So I got from the same Mohammed bookstores that was advertising earlier, and Sharon's bookstore, they have given me 600 kits, pencils, erasers, rulers, sharpeners for the children to do their SCA. Right? So I'll be distributing that, you know, within the next 2 weeks, in order to ensure that they are taken care of. So those are some of the things that, again, there's no log or a booklet to say how an MP should perform. Right? I look at my whole constituency and I satisfy the needs. Sharon, wheelchairs. I give away wheelchairs every other week. Walking sticks, crutches. Because those are things that are readily through the ministries. Right? I work close with the ministries to get those things. Right? The main burden is AGC housing. I may not be able to give everybody a house, you know, as we go along, but we
you
try
don't
to
give,
coordinate.
You recommend.
You recommend. That's the word.
You recommend.
Right? You make the recommendation to the various ministries, and that's how it go. But you know, the things that you can control, I try my best to control them, and those that I cannot control, I make my requests to the various ministries in order to see how things can go.
Excellent. Well, Trinidad and Tobago, I want to open the lines for you to talk to the candidate, Esmond Forde, at this time for Tunapuna. And I know that Mr. Chance and all of the Lauren listens every day. I'm a girl. So I know she might be calling in. But I want to share the numbers with you. 342-0081, 771-1791, 466-5391, 718-874-3860. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Felix.
Good morning.
May I want to congratulate my MP, Mr. Forde, for the great work he has been doing.
Thank you.
Where are you calling from?
I'm from Kirep. I'm under his constituency.
Okay.
My name is Monica.
Thank you.
I speak with him now and then because I have a problem in Riverside Road with my wall and the roads and all these things. And he helps me a lot. Himself and Mr. Corey, Selvon.
Yes, the
yes,
council for the area.
in touch together, yes. And I wish him, and I know that he will be back after the 10th of August.
Okay. Thank you so
Yes,
very much, Ms.
you're
Monica,
welcome.
Riverside Road Correct,
Yes.
and that's a part of my constituency.
Yes.
And I appreciate the the sentiments, and
Yeah.
I will continue to work with you all to ensure that we ensure that Tunapuna gets its fair share, within
Of
the
course.
within the,
I
the
also
country.
see the market on Saturdays,
Oh.
Walking around, yes.
Ever so often, I would visit the market, because again the
Yes,
market.
and chatting with the people,
Yes,
yes.
sure,
I look at you, yes.
Yes, thank you. I
Thank you
appreciate
very much,
your
caller.
sentiments.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
bye.
Village, morning.
Good morning, Miss Felix.
Good morning, sir. How are you today?
Well, by the grace of God, I'm all right. And PNM, I'm the deputy speaker in the building. Well, but I want to talk to the deputy speaker. When you come on the title show in the parliament.
Of course. But I'm not in the chair. I'm in a different chair here now, man. Miss Felix is the speaker. Miss Felix is the speaker this morning.
Right now, Miss Felix is the speaker. You also
Yeah,
Madam Speaker. Can I proceed?
Of
Yes,
course.
sir, you can. You have 15 seconds.
Mr. Wally, I know definitely as long as you have Mr. Chance and Mr. Hart around you, I have no problem because I can remember walking with you to the food and you tell me about it. When I go to the house, the people is never.
Yeah, you're correct. And it's still happening every day. My team, Mr. Eddie Hart is in the vehicle every evening. Every evening, Mr. Eddie Hart is there. You know what I mean? And on the mic and, calling out the persons and telling them about the state of the economy and what we ought to do and COVID. And Dr. Rowley's doing a fantastic job. Mr. Eddie Hart, Mr. Chance, Bukareni, those guys who work in the background. Very good team. I wouldn't give them up for anything.
Village, you there? I keep going. I
Okay.
don't know, like you get cut off. Overseas line caller, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Sharon.
Good morning.
Good morning, Bruce. Good morning, Mr. Forde.
Good morning to you.
Mr. Forde, I'm calling all the way from Superior.
Oh, Superior.
Having met you at Marcus Park.
Marcus Park, yes.
You're a wonderful representative. I was shocked when I saw you at my aunt's wake at Marcus Park.
Oh, yes, Marcus Park,
This
yes.
is what we need to do to encourage people to come on. If I was in Tunapuna, I would put my 10 fingers.
Oh, thank
I
you.
wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you very
And Shanwa,
much.
I must say, and that's the divide I've been able to play. She's from Superior, and she knows of me. Marcus Park is a little street, probably with about 12 houses, in an area up off Pentecostal Road in Tunapuna there, and I touch everybody.
Tell you, I hear about you, I seen you. Caller, good morning.
Hi, morning again, Miss Felix.
Morning.
Morning to Mr. Ford.
Morning.
Jenny here. Tunapuna is like my whole home.
Okay.
Right? So I've known you long before you get into politics playing football.
Okay, thank you.
I hope you know what the Jenny talking now.
Jenny.
House address.
Oh, all right. Jenny, House of Dread. Yes.
Pop,
Okay, I won't say no more. House of Dread.
No more, right?
Plenty
So
history
I know
there.
the work you can, yes.
Yes.
I know the work that you can do because I've seen you before you're even a counselor, how you're a people person, how you reach and teach people.
Yes.
And I know that Tunapuna will put you back resoundingly.
Yes.
Because
Thank
you've
you.
always been on the ground. You ain't no feet.
Thank you, Jenny. House of Dread, Sharon, is one of the top football clubs, not only in Tunapuna, but Trinidad and internationally. I used to be a player. I was elevated to be the manager of House of Dread, and then I was the secretary of House of Dread. A big club, from 1972, coming up the ladder, we were able to get players abroad, Gerard Nixon, Clayton Ince, Winston Tick Baraza, may he rest in peace, he now passed on. And they know of me. I was even one of the operations manager at Caledonia AIA under Jamal Shabazz. And it would have been along those lines.
I know you're into your sports. Remember, there was a time we was trying to bring that kind of connectivity. So I know you're into your sports.
Yes. Thank you,
Let me
Jenny.
Hey, Jenny, House of Dread. What? Caller, good morning. Caller, good morning. Okay. Apparently this person is not ready. Again, caller, good morning.
Good morning, Sharon. Good morning, Bruce Wayne. Good morning, Mr. Esmond Forde.
Good morning to you.
No,
Good morning.
I'm not a constituent
Okay,
of Tunapuna.
sure.
I
I belong to one of the largest families at Tunapuna at Young Trace, and I also work at a state agency.
Okay.
I just want to tell the listening public that I could literally vouch for Mr. Esmond Forde, right? Ms. Felix, you know where I work. Mr. Forde is an advocate. When I tell you an advocate for the needs of his constituents, he is.
Wow.
Because he calls to remind, to follow up, to make sure his stuff is done.
Yeah.
So I want to just encourage the people of Tunapuna to please support Mr. Esmond Forde. He has been one of the MPs who I have seen over the last 5 years to be one of the most persistent MPs who advocate on behalf of his constituents. So I just want to encourage and just to endorse you, Mr. Forde.
Wow.
My family is on Achong
Trees, yeah, Upper Balthazar Street.
Yeah, so you know whom you are speaking with.
Yes,
So I just want to publicly endorse you, and for the rest, because people don't know what happens behind the scenes. They don't know, and I don't think they appreciate it. But you are one who is able to make it happen and to deliver. So by your persistence and the systematic way that you spoke about earlier.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just want to encourage you. You have my family's full support. That I know. And, the next member of parliament.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, my dear friend. We have to go to the ads, and that was a good way to go to the ads. Thank you very much. All right, Trinidad and Tobago, we are back, and I'm seeing the lines still going crazy here. Everybody want to talk to MP Esmond Forde. Yeah, not candidate, MP Esmond Forde. Good morning, Massachusetts.
Good morning. Blessings to everybody.
Yes, good morning. Same to you.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I have a question for you, sir.
All right. I hope I can answer you. You know what I mean? I'm putting a position now. No problem.
First off, let me compliment you on when you, the Mandingo, stands up and your booming voice filters through the floor, that the opposition tend to check themselves and become more disciplined.
Okay.
Question is this. Under the stewardship of Mr. Esmond, the Finance Department has been providing annual audited financial reports of entities, state-run entities, dating back to the UNC, which were not presented as is constitutionally mandated. Could you talk about the significance of those audited financial annual reports to the Senate and to the Parliament, and how that impacts on financial accountability to Sweet TNT? Thank you. I'll hang up and listen.
Wow. I think he put it in when Mr. Esmond is coming.
Well,
or Senator Allison West.
I think I want to ask you, Massachusetts, thank you very much for the question, but I think I want to ask Mr. Forde to stay far away from that, because
I would, yes.
That is not in his field. I don't want him to put his foot in his mouth and make a mistake by one figure. So we will keep that question for when Minister Esmond comes in. And
I would think so.
Try to get him to come in as soon as possible.
It's not in my portfolio.
No. And I wouldn't want you to answer that question.
Of course.
Because if you make one simple mistake, they just tape my show to make their shows.
Okay.
Yeah,
So we need to be careful. Sure.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Caller, good morning.
Totally agree. Talk to me about Tunapuna.
Thank you. Caller, good morning.
Yeah, Ms. Sharon, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Esmond Forde.
Good morning. Good morning to you, sir.
This is Christopher King.
Okay.
A well-known Tunapunan.
Right.
I know you're from up Strickalin.
Strickalin, okay, sure.
With Uhuru and them.
Yes, House of Dread again.
Tima.
Tima, Uhuru, Dugiri, right?
Yellow Man.
Right, Jokes.
Country.
Nice, lovely. Oh, we could call
now
something.
Coming from South.
Yeah. Dove.
And this is Mr. King, governing your house.
Right, thank you.
Then keep up the good work.
Thank you.
One day I will have to visit you.
Not a problem. Feel free, just look for me, find my office, and we'll have that communication.
Yeah, I know you're most welcome and you have a free heart.
Yeah, man.
So blessed
Thanks.
love all the way.
Love, yeah.
Miss Sharon, good morning. This is the man who called you from Rocket, all right?
Oh, thank you very much. Welcome.
Christopher King, a past player of House of Dread also, and again, knows me when, not to say when I was nobody, but when I was really, now I'm still Esmond Forde, but he knows me Esmond Forde in my 20s, in my 30s, when I was running around and doing what I had to do in Tunapuna. You know what I mean?
Sexy girl, good morning.
Good morning to you, Sharon. Good morning to you, Brucey. And to my darling Mr. Forde.
I'm humbled.
I'm born and bred Tunapunian, but it's just I've moved to another constituency.
Yeah, I know.
I know you very well.
Once a Tunapunian, always a Tunapunian.
Sharon, Mr. Forde's mom and my mom were very good friends, so that he's Patsy's god brother.
Oh, that's Isasha's aunt.
This is Isasha's aunt.
Oh, okay, Isasha's aunt. Okay, right.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
I'm fine. You bring back some memories there, boy. Ma Forde, may she rest in peace. Yeah, may she rest in peace. Yes.
We used to call her Auntie Beryl.
Auntie Beryl, yes. Auntie Beryl, yes.
Sharon, you see the closeness.
I see.
But Mr. Forde, I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
You know our family loves you.
Thank you.
And I want to tell Mr. Naked, he coming into the Gael in Tunapuna, so he better put on clothes. Because his legs like peas. You understand?
Right. I will deal with the licks with peace part.
Plenty legs. So we might have him running out of Tunapuna. Sorry, I'm not in Tunapuna constituency.
Of course.
The lady said 10 fingers, I would have put 10 fingers and 10 toes.
10 toes, right. But don't worry, let's pass on the message, man. Esmond Forde, yes.
Okay, honey,
right.
so I know you're going to do your best.
Thank you.
Well done and congratulations. Wish you all the best.
Sure. Ma Forde. Yeah, Ma Forde.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you very much.
She's very naked. Caller, good morning.
Good morning to you, Sharon.
Good morning.
To Bruce. And to Mr. Esmond Forde.
Hi, good morning.
Mr. Forde, based on what I am hearing from my family and friends who live between Balthazar Street and Basilar Street, you seem to be a model parliamentarian, right? You have certain structures in place where you could serve your constituents. I too was born in Tunapuna on Green Street.
Okay, yes, Green
I
Street.
also attended Tunapuna EC.
Yes, I mentioned that earlier.
I have a relative who taught you at Tunapuna EC. I guess Sharon could tell you off air. You know?
Okay.
So after doing common entrance, my family and I moved to Woodbrook.
Okay.
But my heart is still with Tunapuna. Tunapuna has everything.
Yes, of course.
Yours should be what? A borough or city or something?
Yes.
Everything you want you could find in Tunapuna. And I am hearing good things about you. And I know you could just go from strength to strength. And I know you're going to bring it home. And if I was still living in Tunapuna, you'd have certainly gotten all my family and our vote.
Right.
Blessings to you, my dear.
Yes. I am humbled, and all I will say is to God be the glory. To God be the glory. I am humbled. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Caller, good morning. Caller, good morning. All right. Caller, good morning.
Hello, you hearing me?
I don't know. 640.
No, yes.
Right, go ahead.
Hi, Mr. Esmond Forde, my dear colleague. Eastern Credit Union train you well.
Eastern,
as well as Sharon.
I forgot about Eastern Credit Union.
I'm in Balthazar Street again.
Yes.
You know who it is, right?
Yes.
And I think you should get kudos for not answering Massachusetts. How you say, Sharon? You are so brilliant, Edward.
Yes. I need to be careful. Yes. It's not, as they say, it's not in my pay grade. Yeah, it's not in my pay grade.
I have to protect him.
And I can't stay too long, but we see each other often. Have a blessed day.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's my girlfriend, I love her too bad. How can I get some PNM music, please? So, guys, the phone line going crazy. Caller, good morning.
Hello, good morning to you, Sharon Felix.
Good morning.
And Mr. Esmond Forde.
Thank you. Good morning to you.
This is Terry Moore speaking.
Terry Moore.
Since I got senior come here and serve, and I was in the defense force.
Okay.
You know me good.
Okay. I probably just need to recollect. Terry Moore. Yes.
Sexy.
Oh, Green Machine days. Nice.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you,
my
sir.
brother.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Terry.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you very much. Tobago is in the house. Mr. Archer. Mr. Archer, you there?
Yeah, how are you this morning?
Oh, all right. I'm good. How you doing?
Well, I will get a banker to be there.
What happened? Are you not here still?
You're gone. We are doing nothing after time they cut you off. Good morning, Mr. Forde.
Good morning, Mr. Archer. All the way in Tobago.
Man, Tobago there. We sit down here ready. I know what's in the flag in front of my gate. And Sharon?
Yes, darling.
You know what mark on the flag?
What mark on the flag? St. Joseph.
Okay.
Yes, St. Joseph.
All the way in Tobago.
St. Joseph flag.
Yes.
I couldn't get a big flag in Tobago, so I get one big flag from St. Joseph.
Right.
Mr. Bruce, morning.
Yeah. Same PNM.
Same house, just different room.
No problem.
Same house, just different room.
Lovely, man.
Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Archer, morning.
How daddy going, boy? How daddy going?
Good.
Like it's a Tobago thing, boy.
Dr. Keith Rowley, good Mr. and Mrs. Rowley, good morning.
Yes, good morning to them
Mrs.
too.
Regis,
Yes.
good morning.
Sure.
Mommy's house, good morning.
Yes.
Hi, Tobago people, good morning. Sharon?
Yes, sir.
Girl, I'll sit on me, I'll lie down on my bed and laugh. Mr. Forde,
Yes.
Tobago wish you the best.
Right, thank you.
In mind and spirit.
Thank you.
And you know when to be going on with you.
Carlos, of course. I like that.
Just as we have two candidates in Tobago, people can walk out and fix roof and so on. Take material that the assembly give people on the grant and so on and fix up.
What?
So don't bother with them.
Wait, hold on. Oh, God, no, this is not the time for that. But Mr. Archer, wait now. What you're saying, they're doing what? Taking money, material.
When the assembly give the people and them grant.
Right.
House grant to fix a roof and so on.
He go in and fix it.
He gets, wait, no man, I'm
all right, sorry, I'm waiting.
It have a man walking around and start to fix the people in them house with the material that the assembly or the government or the assembly give the people as grant. So left that. We go deal with that.
We go deal with that.
Yeah.
Mr.
Forde, I hear long in Trinidad, they're saying that a man go win the east and a woman go win the west. Let me tell you something. 2013, the plane Tobago in yellow. Boatload upon boatload. It have the mass or the gas or what the man name. All of them things Tobago law. We gave them 12 nil. Camilla never come back. So don't bother with them. We're going to take care of them.
Right. Lovely.
So I want to say this morning, I talked to my good friend, Mr. Cummings with you again in Mine and Street.
Right.
Mrs. Robinson, Penelope Beckles Robinson, we with you. Anytime you need Robinson, we're going to support you.
Right.
And last but not least, Sharon, the Bakanami they are getting something Ramdialu, Angolan, or Ramdialu. You remember she name?
Right.
So I have to wait for my son.
Sharon? Sharon, another day?
Yes, I'm right here.
We had a woman in Parliament by the name of some Angolan or Ramdial. She was some caretaker, something for Tobago. Everything they pass for Tobago, money for Tobago to start to come. She don't know when to be going and put them out on you like how we put them out on Camilla. Camilla could never win an next election. She come up here and mash up a soldier, mash up TOP, come up here, do all kind of things, give the assembly all kind of pressure. Now I've seen somebody get some stick out the PNM and talking all kind of. The person doing that don't have sense. And I want to tell the young people in Trinidad.
Yes, very important.
The people in East-West Corridor. I hear they say that the government they do nothing for Trinidad and Tobago. And black people, African people don't have everything. We're solid in Tobago.
Right.
The people in Levante, they want Olio view. They want to take away the land from Olio to go up and watch down for the Spain. So they're setting up the Levante people and tell Olio, the government never do nothing for for young people in Lavante. Let me tell you something in Lavante. When Eric Williams take over, everybody that's working on the wharf as stevedore was from Lavante. Every man, every single man from Lavante was civil. All the civil laws on the wharf was from Lavante. And I could tell all of that. And anybody want to challenge that, Eric Williams tries best to put everything. And young people, always stop looking for work from government. Come together, form a company. Or you could be like Coastal and Lebanon. Form a company, please. Register your company and move along. The government put things in place and you all come together. Stop thinking foolishly that the government is giving all the work and work. Or you could create work for yourself. Good morning.
All I would say is that we have MILAT, we have YTEP, we have MIC, we have MOS, we have Civilian Conservation Corp, and many more programs that are there for the youths. We just have to ensure that they participate, right? But we will do our part in order to ensure along the East-West corridor that, we take care of the youth accordingly.
All right, so Trinidad and Tobago, thank you very much. Let me take an overseas line call. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Sharon. Morning, Bruce.
Good morning, Carol.
Good
morning, Mr. Forde.
Good morning, Carol. I hear the name Carol.
Sharon, Mr. Forde, I remember 5 years ago. I didn't know where I was going. I don't know Tunapuna, but I had to hear you. And if you ask me to find the place now where I park, where I drive, I don't know. All I know, I pass through some back road, come through some thing, and we end up in the meeting.
Right, okay.
Don't ask me to find the place again.
Okay.
Because I just heard about you, and I had to be in that meeting with daughter and I. And it was so good, and it was so good to hear you then, and it's even better to hear you now.
Okay, I appreciate it.
You have grown. I love to hear in the parliament. You put them in the place. I love my girl in the parliament too, but something when you get there on that bench, on that seat, it make a little difference. They realize that it's a no joke person sitting there. So I want to wish you all the best.
Thank you.
I am pleased to hear your constituency are pleased with the work you do.
Thank you.
So if they are pleased, we are pleased.
Yes, I appreciate that.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And and I know we will be seeing you in Parliament when the next term.
Okay, thank you. Sharon, I just want to say one thing based on what Carol said from overseas. Again, we have the speaker, Bridget Anise George, and you have the deputy speaker. Right. Male, female, again, two different characters, right? I have learned a lot from the speaker, Bridget Anise George. She's a qualified attorney. I am not, no legal background. And she has taught me every single thing as a deputy speaker. Everything she does, she makes sure she communicates with me. Why we doing this? Why we do that? So on and so on. And I must commend her. Excellent lady. Excellent lady.
I too, because I watched the
excellent lady.
that joint.
Yeah, we have a team. Seriously.
A joint execution.
Of course, yes.
But let me tell you, most of all, I wanted to ask you this, and I'll ask you today. How do you cope with the different standing orders? I say, oh God, boy, I wonder. It's be kind of, at first it's a bit frightening, but I wonder if they'll make a mistake, boy. I know, and I go into the standing order too sometimes, and I watch it to see what it is about. But
again, and this is, when I was trained by Ms. Jacob, because I spent, in 2015, I spent about a month to 6 weeks with her, training, going through the standing orders. And, and as I always mentioned, not that you need to have a legal background to be a speaker. What you need to do is to understand your standing orders. So it's a booklet, standing order number 1, standing order 44, so 53.6 and that sort of thing. So sometimes 53 standing order comes to memory regularly because that's where the quorum comes into play. Right. But some of the standing orders, you have to go to the book in order to make reference. And it's just ensuring that at the end of the day, you understand the standing order and you make a decision. Right? The speaker decision, as they say, is final, but you need to ensure that they abide. Yeah.
All right. Caller, good morning.
Good morning again to you.
Good morning, my dear.
Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning to you.
is a call from Diego Martin West.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And you know, good things come from Diego Martin West.
Right,
That's
yes.
a real show off, boy. Oh, cool. And so the MP does show off too, you know.
What's that, Sharon?
So your MP like to show off too, boy.
Oh, gosh. My MP does show off. He really.
Yes, he's
But
real.
before I just called to wish you all the best because you know Tunapuna is a seat that is ours. You understand me?
Yes.
And I want to say good morning to the hearts and them out there. The hearts and them out there.
Thank you. Yes.
Good. Mr. Forde, we roam up there with my member of parliament. They have a place we can go. If they have a place we have not been with this prime minister and this member of parliament for Diego Martin West.
Right.
So I just called to wish you all the best.
you.
And I know
Thank
you're
you.
going to bring it home.
Yes, I
I
appreciate
know.
that.
Be ready and ready.
Yes.
You understand me?
Yes.
I was looking at your movie recently. I started to laugh, honestly.
Yes.
And when you're in parliament, you remind me of somebody. Me and Cody come here on Sharon and say we the show off. You understand me?
I am humbled. Thank you.
Okay.
All praise to God. All praise
Great
to
is the
God.
PNM.
Thank you.
Great
Yes.
is the PNM.
And we shall
will
prevail. Yes.
Okay, have a good one.
Okay, mommy, thank you very much. Oh, gosh, I take off the person by mistake. Jeez and just call me back, caller. I am sorry. Call me back. I'm so going to swipe the button. I forget I don't have them.
It happens.
Waiting. Call me back, caller.
It happens.
Mrs. Rowley?
Good morning, my dear.
Morning. We still on or you looking at me on the TV?
I am looking at you on the TV. You're gone long time.
I said it for you.
Good morning, Miss
Good
Rowley.
morning, Mr. Forde.
Yes, good morning, Miss Rowley. Good morning.
Darling, I call to congratulate you and to wish you all the best.
Thank you.
I know,
Thank you.
just watching at you, I know you're going to bring it off.
Thank you.
Just watching at you.
Yes.
I know
Must
you're
show
gonna
that
bring it
confidence.
off.
Must show that confidence. Yes.
Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And
Appreciate.
I'm praying for you.
Yes,
I'm praying
very important.
For everybody.
Yes.
And I'm praying for you.
Of
You
course.
look nice there with Sharon.
Of course.
Yes.
All my moms,
You gave an
and
advice this morning. Hello?
Go ahead.
Yes, you gave an advice this morning. It wasn't an advice. You were talking to me. You were talking to the other people. When you win an election, you just don't win an election. When you win an election, you see about you go and visit your people.
Sure. Yes.
Make sure you
Must
look
say
for
thanks.
your
Of
people.
course. Yes.
Right? Because as I was saying, some of us at my age, we come out on mornings, we force and come out and vote.
Yes.
And afterwards, we don't see you again until next election.
Lovely.
Which
yes.
is very bad.
Very good point. Very good
bad.
point. Yes. Very good point.
Sometimes you don't even have to come in the house. You just pass by the road and say, Mr. how are you?
Yes.
And, let them know that you appreciate them.
Oh, God. Sound like this lady know me, boy. We have rough, on the average 8 senior citizen homes.
I always tell Sharon that, this is how electors must do. They must know their electorate and the people must know them.
Sure. By name, yes. I agree with you, moms. Yes. Okay, moms.
Understand?
Nice. Lovely.
All right. Well, you
Thank
all
you.
the best and love to you.
Keep praying for us. Yes.
You all look pretty there, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
you.
Love.
Thank you very much. And that's a very good point,
Yeah, the senior citizen home, like for instance, during this COVID crisis, every other week, I drop hampers for them in bulk. Kiss Baking Company sending bread, Blue Water sending water, Vemco sending products, all the different companies, Nestle, right, sanitizing stuff from Lana products, you know what I mean? And every other week, I'm making sure that these homes were taken care of.
Hello.
Oh, gosh, all right. Yes, we here. We was going to take you. Good morning.
Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning.
Sharon, oh God, I know I have a strange number, but oh God, you're just squeezed for this morning, but that's all right.
Yeah, Larry?
Yeah, good morning.
There's a FBI thing. What number is this?
It's a diamond digital number.
All right, okay.
Yeah, diamond digital number. Good morning, Mr. Forde.
Good morning, Yallery. Right? I hear the name Yallery. Good morning.
I know you know my family.
Okay.
In Tacarigua. You know that very well.
Lovely.
It's in Street Tacarigua.
Right, of course, yes.
Very well. Yes, I want to say good morning to all these Street 191 listeners.
Yes.
And Esmond Forde,
next member of parliament for Tunapuna, well, you know you had already basket already. There no if, no but, no maybe.
Who?
Still have to do your work. Still have to do my work. Still have to do my work.
Nothing, no basket.
Still have to do my work.
Right.
Still have to do my work. But getting street,
Well, I know,
that's an important street in
you bring it home for the people of Tunapuna. In other words.
Thank you.
Right, and I want to say, well, nothing in our chance, but all the best. So you are the next 40 candidates in the PNM areas, and I want to show you all the best and election.
Thank you.
We should bring it home on the night of August 10th.
Thank you very much. Wait, don't say nothing yet, Esmond. Let me take Mr. Tunapuna. We're going to a break, and then I'll give you to do what you want when we come back. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Miss Felix. Good morning, Jackie. I say, yeah. Protocol observed.
Good morning, Mr. Tunapuna.
But I hear a lady calling and choosing between the speakers of the house. And that makes me call in because don't touch Anita George for me, please. Don't come in here and say this one better than the next one, you know. Because they both, man have a way to deal with things and female have a way to deal with things. That's equally shame. I love that woman with all my heart and all my soul.
Totally agree with
you. My husband father do what he had to do, but you see her, don't come in here and like Mr. Esmond Forde. I think he's a married man, and you want to give him some extra quiet and so that.
Mr. Tunapuna, we have a minute and 30 seconds. Talk to Esmond.
I take it.
Right.
I want to wish all the PNM candidates, I want to wish them all the love and well, yeah, I mean, what we got getting all they coming right back in place because Kamala and that day not coming back. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You have a minute.
Right.
So
One of the things I would just like to say, you see, as the gentleman, I think it was Yallery, saying that how it already in the basket. But I want to tell not only the people of Tunapuna, but to everyone listening this morning, you have to come out and vote on August the 10th, 2020. We have a saying in Tunapuna that by 11 o'clock, all voters must be inside. By 11 a.m. So don't say it in the basket. Election is only won on the day of election.
That's right.
And the day of election this year, 2020, is August 10th. So whether it's in the basket or it's outside the basket, it's next to the basket, I am saying you have to come out. Once you're over 18 years, you have to come out. Once you're on the voters list, you have to come out. Senior citizens, elderly, my moms, everybody all over, you need transport, contact the team, put it in place. That's all I have to say, Sharon, in order to ensure it. Not in the basket, because you're starting from zero on August 10th. All the 12,700 votes I got in 2015, I started zero in 2020.
We'll be back. Don't shift your dial.
They talk. You talk. Come talk with us. On the street. 919 FM.
All right, so Trinidad and Tobago, we are back. So we're getting ready to leave in a while. It's 8:41, and you know at 5 to 8 we leave these shores. All right, so we make way for the other announcers. So Trinidad and Tobago, again, we have Mr. Esmond Forde, the candidate for the constituency of Tunapuna in the upcoming elections on August 10th, 2020 in Trinidad and Tobago. And if you now tune in, you miss real information. So I can ask you to go back on the Facebook page if you're now tuning in. Street 919 FM on Facebook. Street live stream on YouTube. Iowa TV on YouTube. You'll just scroll back and you'll get the whole program if you missed anything.
Well said.
Yes. So, Mr. Forde, you have anything else you want to tell your constituents of Tunapuna?
Not only the constituents, but I think, I want to go outside of Tunapuna and go to Trinidad and Tobago. We came in 2015 under Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley when we won the election. We voted against corruption and everything in bad practicing. Everything was haywire. Right, we came in, we were able to stabilize the economy.
Yes.
We stayed away from the IMF.
Yes.
We were able to do much with little. We were able to, put us back on a good footing. 2018 came. Remember the October 2018, the flood and the set of thing, Again, under Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, we managed the crisis, right? we could look back at Petrotrin and say, well, look, how did we dealt with it in order to ensure that we cushion, the breakaway from Petrotrin. And then up came COVID.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And we are during this COVID time, and we are alive. Antigua just got 119 cases again. Brazil is out the window. USA is out the window. Those borders, we have to care those borders. We cannot rush to open them, right? And we need to ensure that we follow the guidelines of the Ministry of Health. Terence Yal Singh and his team doing an excellent job, right? The CMO and Dr. Parishram, excellent frontline workers. So I think we need to ensure that we don't let things get out of hand with this COVID-19 coronavirus. We are number one, thank God, but we still need to ensure that we do our part. Wear our masks, keep our social distancing, wash our hands, sanitize, and let's follow the instructions.
That's right.
I think it's important that we know that.
So we're going back and take a couple calls. Caller, good morning.
God bless you, Miss Sharon.
Good morning, Miss Gloria.
Mr. Forde, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Gloria. Good morning, Gloria.
I am Miss Persia's welfare officer, Party Group 7.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you something this morning, sir.
Okay, thank you.
You are going to win your seat. 1, 2, you will become a minister. I, Gloria, will tell Miss Sharon.
Yes, ma'am.
You played the mark yesterday?
Girl, I ain't played no mark. I leave here and I go on up the road because it's back and I had to hurry to go here. I forget until I get a text. Sharon, you play the mark, you must play for plenty money. Hear me?
I asked if you play the mark. Hear me, Sam. Who she name again? Oh, gosh, Sam. Woman who does wake up now.
Zina?
Yeah. Oh, God, Miss Grant, you want to be man here. I fellow working doing some work in the so, yeah. Oh, God, Auntie, you tell me. When I see the thing, I rather like this.
Well, let me tell you, you see me? You see me? We talk it, Esmond, 30-11. They say 30 for PNM 11. And I say, oh, start going and eat the cover. So I'm jamming that. The 30 play. Well, yeah, I'm going and play the 11 today.
Yeah, you could go with that, I go with that, because here what now, I tell you, and what happened, they have a place again, $35, so what will Miss Gloria, I get $175.
Well, all you're supposed to be bringing some money and giving me, because it's I give only the capiche.
But Miss Sharon, you were talking to my friend about me, right? And I said 30 to 11. See how we say. So then after we saw you say,
I formulated.
Right, but then you say, so hear me, oh God, boy. Then he said, God, Auntie, tell me to play the market, but that 11 coming. So, Mr. Forde, my dear.
Thank you.
I wish you all the success, yes. God's blessing. Yes. I am praying for every one of you. And I tell me, Sharon, 30 to 11, Makela Panic. Bye-bye, Kamala.
Bring out everybody to vote on August 10th. Very important.
I have Sharon, girl, I live in my house. I have a PNM plan, but there's 3 houses, so they can't sit up and put by my window.
Great.
Have a blessed day.
Okay, my darling.
Love you all.
Love you too. Thank you. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Sharon and Mr. Forde.
Yes, good morning to you. Good morning to you.
Cheryl here.
Cheryl, okay.
Tunapuna.
Okay. All right, I'll say no more, Cheryl. Okay, I got you.
Oh, God,
how the mask making going?
Well, I have our next set on the machine.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Good to hear you, man.
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
Thanks for all the things that you are doing within the Tunapuna area. Sure.
Much appreciated.
Yes, thank you very much, Cheryl. Nice,
all
thanks for calling. Appreciate.
Yes, you're welcome.
Nice.
Okay, my darling.
Okay, lovely.
Caller, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning, Mr. Forde.
Good morning to you also.
Mr. Forde, and Miss Benjamin, very good.
Benjamin.
Yes. Richelin Benjamin.
Okay.
She is the manager of a certain establishment around your area. She gives her a very good name.
Thank you.
She said that you get a lot of employment for people in your area, in her establishment. I know her very much. She's my neighbor.
Okay.
And she tell me that she speaks very good about you.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, very, very good about the people in your area,
Sure.
how you assist them very much with jobs.
Yes.
She said that about you.
Yes, thank you very much.
But I am on Dabadi Omira.
Okay.
The mayor very well. She is
your yes.
person I have to vote for. Yes. I am on PNM since I'm 4 years old. So the days with Donald Grenado.
Okay.
Yes, till them days I want to be born and grow in Laventille. You understand?
Right.
So I am a PNM since I'm 4 years. I'm 68 years now. Going into 69. I still a PNM. Never jump ship.
Nice.
Okay, Mr. Ford?
Right. Thank you
All
very
God's
much.
blessing on you,
Thank
my
you.
dear.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
One comment, Shan, she made a very valid point here. Again, Ms. Benjamin has a human resource agency. So we refer persons for employment to her. Because, everybody believe, they want a government work. I want to work county. I want to work Sawa Laventille. I want to work Tunapuna Piako. But those regional corporations cannot take in everyone. So what we try to do is to send them to private institutions in order to create employment. The Makoya Industrial Estate is in my area. So I communicate with all those companies there, Lensel, Bureau of Standards, MIC, and so on, to see if we could fit in any individual for employment in order to take the weight off the government agencies, which are not readily available at times.
Let me ask you a question. Seeing that you are, before being the candidate now, you were the member of parliament.
Yeah.
Do you feel more comfortable being the member of parliament, servicing your constituency, than being the member of parliament and a minister working out of a ministry? Tell me.
You see, one of the things...
Because let me tell you why I ask you that. From the time you sit here, the things you said to us is because you were able to be in your constituency very, very often.
100%.
And you keep connected with all your constituents, and you were able to feel some of the passion and the emotions and deal with it. So just asking.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, again, I've never been a minister.
Right.
I can only, with discussions with my colleagues, how they perform, things like that, as the case may be. But to me, Esmond Forde, the member of parliament, is the most critical position. Because I always used to tell my team, during these 5 years, we must be able to touch base with majority of persons. Because, it have this saying now, and I ain't seen my MP. Every 5 years I see my MP. I find that comes across harsh. To me, that comes across harsh. So, again, sometimes you get the ministry and you get bogged down in the ministry, because from what I understand is that the permanent secretary, the PS, is supposed to be the one running the ministry. But I don't know if sometimes some ministers probably get bogged down at the ministry. But the member of parliament is a critical position. It really puts you in the firing line at your constituency. So when I leave home, I go to my constituency, I go to an area. Deputy Speaker is once a week. Right? Deputy Speaker role is basically every Friday. Right? Every Friday or Wednesday and a Friday, as the case may be. So I'm only in Port of Spain basically 2 days a week, or sometimes if I have a joint select committee meeting. But most of the time, 75% of the time, 80%, I'm in my constituency. So again, I'm not saying that, no hard feelings against any ministry. Again, but I think there must be a balance between your ministry and your member of parliament.
Or you have a good working team.
That's it. Team.
If you have to operate in a ministry, you must have a good working team.
To ensure that they pick up the slack when you're at your ministry, because most likely you may need to go to your ministry every day. But when you leave Tunapuna, you have a team saying who's substituting for Esmond. So when you see a light fix, you see your water leak fix, you see your pothole fix, it's not because you didn't see Esmond, but it's happening.
Thank you.
As I tell people, you don't need to see me. Once you see something happening in your community, hey, the MP doing something, the councillor doing something. And that's what it is about, not necessarily seeing me every day.
Well, Trinidad and Tobago, this is where we have to come to the end of our interview and our program. So I want to thank Mr. Esmond Forde for taking the opportunity to coming out. I know the morning is kind of critical, but at this time, when election bell ring, you have to be ready to go. Whether it's 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, you get a call, you have to jump out and do what you have to do. So Trinidad and Tobago, this is the man they call Mr. Esmond Forde.
And we're staying on board with Esmond Forde.
Woo,
2020.
You understand? So Trinidad and Tobago, this is where we want to leave it, but I want to leave you with the word potential.
Potential.
My potential for growth is unlimited.
Yeah.
In every stage of life and development, I evolve and express more and more of my divine nature. As I do, I learn to practice and more fully embody my spiritual qualities of love, peace, joy, and compassion. looking back on some of my past choices, and I know Esmond know what I'm talking
Yes,
about,
yes,
may cause me to doubt my potential. But the divine blueprint within me or within us tells a different story. Like a tiny acorn, I carry within me the possibility of becoming a towering oak. I take in God's light as I pray. I receive nourishment through education, spiritual growth, and healthy relationship. I shower myself with love and care like water quenching a deep thirst. As I nurture my potential, I flourish and grow. The righteous flourish like the palm tree and grow like a cedar in Lebanon. They are planted in the house of Lord. They flourish in the courts of our God. Psalms 92:12. Esmond, I give you this.
Yes, potential.
I give you this word today.
Thank you. I accept it. Psalm 92:12-13. Yes,
right.
potential. I accept it.
That's right. Thank
Accept
you very
it.
much for
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
91.9 FM.
Of course, we wish you luck. I want to congratulate you in advance, becoming the next member of parliament for Tunapuna. Not St. Joseph, for Tunapuna. That's okay. We can deal with that. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
All right, my
It's
dear.
a pleasure being here.
Nice.
Thank you.
So we're going to have to say it for Bruce. Ciao.